Welcome to Scorched Earth and the general reading for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of June. I hope you are well. I'm using the Llewellyn Tarot for you today. So if the reading resonates and you'd like to look into it a little bit deeper, there will be an extended at the end that you can access. The link for that will be down in the description box. And obviously if you support me on Patreon, you get access to all the extended content for no extra cost. So with that out of the way, let's have a look and see what is going on with you, Virgo. Can I have 3 cards for Virgo, please? Well, there's the first one. We've got the Strength card in your recent past. We have current energy for Virgo, please. We've got the Page of Wands in your present energy, and what's coming towards Virgo, please, for June. We have the King of Pentacles. That's nice for you. There we go. We've got the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck, and that's the first thing I heard when I saw that card was about fucking time, which is interesting because that feels like it's coming directly from you rather than me. Let's see here. Right, let's get some clarifiers. Oh, King of Pentacles is at the bottom of that deck. It's the card of Taurus in the Minor Arcana. That one. So tell me about the Strength card, please. We've got the 8 of Wands and we've got the Queen of Cups. Interesting. Page of Wands, please. We've got the Strength card again. Where the fuck did that go? Down here. There it is. The Strength card. Page of Wands, please. And the 7 of Pentacles. Super. Tell me about the King of Pentacles, please. We have the Judgment card. Ooh. And we have the Devil. Right, okay. We've got the Magician at the bottom of the deck. Now, I usually associate this with Gemini, but it does have Virgo associations too. And what do we have under here? Virgo, we have the 10 of Wands and we have the 10 of Pentacles. There they are, right there together. Now, as you are no doubt aware, the 10s indicate completions in the tarot, and we have 3 cards numbered 10 that are appearing for you. We have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the 10 of Wands, and we have the 10 of Pentacles. So there's definitely a sense here of you having been kind of going through it just a little bit, you know, that about fucking time that we saw with the Wheel of Fortune there. That indication that things are going to start improving. Well, they already have started improving actually, but there's something quite a bit more solid about the movement that's coming in for you now, right? With the Magician at the bottom of the deck is a really good indication that not only are you showing up in true manifestation form, but you've got everything that you need to institute the changes that you want to bring about, because something's been pretty stressful. Something's been pretty burdensome of late, and you know, with that 10 of Pentacles underneath there, it could be to do with your work, it could be to do with your business, it could be to do with your home, actually, and it could be to do with safety and security and stability and all those other things that we associate with that. You know, something about this has been very, very stressful for you recently, but it seems like you've broken the back of it because we do have the Ace of Wands sitting behind there. If you remember the way that, you know, tarot runs, you run from the Ace to the 10. Once you hit the 10, you go back to the Ace. Hopefully a level up from where you were before. But you've made something happen. It's been hard work, but it's happened and it's there, and that's a good thing. Now let me just pop that down right there and have a look at what's going on down here, because there's a lot of obviously with the Strength card here, there's a lot of very strong energy. We've got quite a lot of major arcana. We've got the Strength card and the Strength card and the Judgment card and the Devil card and the Wheel of Fortune. But there's a lot of kind of like middling energy as well. You know, that 7 of Pentacles particularly, as I'm looking at it here, is I want to use the word mediocre, but I'm not sure that that's right. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let's actually start at the beginning. So it's been a feat of endurance. So many things that you deal with do tend to be feats of endurance, Virgo. I'm not sure why that should be the case, but it does seem to be the case. You know, you and Leo, you know, with their Strength card there, it seems like there are forever situations that are popping up that require you to draw on reserves of strength that frankly you would rather not have to access. But nevertheless, the situation requires it, and then here it is, you know. There's a certain amount of emotional strength, particularly indicated in the strength card, this strength card in the Llewellyn, because we have the water. It's not very often that you see water on a strength card, on any card to do with Leo, actually, to be honest. And we've got the Eight of Wands, and we've got the Queen of Cups. And I feel like there's some sort of dialogue that you've had to open with a very sensitive part of you, to do with, possibly to do with actually legal situations, but it's addressing a part of you that's been feeling quite stuck for a while. And this will have its expression differently for each of you. You know, for some of you, you may have felt like you were stuck in your work. For some of you, you might be stuck in something else. But ultimately, it comes down to how you feel about something, right? How it is that you feel like everything's kind of come at you. You see the way that these wands are just coming straight for this Queen of Cups, and she doesn't see it coming because she's staring at the cups here. It feels actually like there's been some sort of trigger that's been activated for you of late. And because of who you are and because of the way that you do things, I feel like you have sat with it. Right? You didn't really see it coming, and it kind of popped out at you, and you're like, oh my God, right, what is this? And rather than allowing it to shut you down mentally, you actually feel to me like you've sat with that. Like both of these characters here in these cards are blindfolded. The beautiful woman in Justice, and also the old woman in the Eight of Swords. I'm sorry, the light is, it's very early in the morning here, so the sun's only just come up and the camera doesn't like to adjust. You know, both cards with swords, both air cards, you know, Libra, and I forget what this is. I could work it out if I thought about it hard enough, but I don't want to. Because we're trying not to allow the overthinking or the trapped thinking to come in, right? It's all about what you feel and why you feel that way, you know? If you had given your mind too much of an input into this, the likelihood is you would have just shut down. Instead, what you're doing is you're blinding the swords, blinding the mind, and listening to this down here. What is going on down here? And you do feel like you've been somewhat kind of knocked sideways, but I do feel like it's all worked out quite nicely. It's worked out for you because you've had an insight into something that had been kind of rumbling along underneath. And it's almost like you've had the opportunity to open your eyes properly. The right eyes rather than the sword eyes. Here's what we've got down here. Fuck me. What we've got down here is the Fool, and we've got the Strength card again sitting behind this. You know, it's a testament to the kind of personal power that you have and quite often don't recognize about yourself, Virgo. You know, sometimes everything just feels like a feat of endurance, and you're like, what the fucking, why again is it this? You know, why can I not just be quiet and in a state of peace in my environment? You know, you're particularly sensitive to your own environments. But there's something that's come out of it that it feels to me has been very important for you. And now that you've kind of shaken free of that, and I do feel like you've shaken free of it, we've got the Fool card at the bottom of the deck. We've got that Strength card there. Look at that. You also have the Lovers, and then you have the Ten of Wands. And, you know, I love this Ten of Wands because she's put the burden down and she's having a rest. You feel like you're in that state of assimilating what you've worked out and allowing it to do what it needs to do, which is pushing you into a state of growth. You know, the Strength card's out 3 for 3 here now. 3 decks on the table and 3 Strength cards. There's a lot of growth going on here. And whilst, you know, it's that acronym, isn't it? Like AFOG, another fucking opportunity for growth. Yes, lovely. Can we stop having another fucking opportunity for growth? That would be lovely. Nevertheless, You're integrating it, you're assimilating it, and you're accepting the growth as it's presenting to you. And now in your current energy, there's a bit more in the way of outward movement, it feels. And it's not quite happened yet because it's the Page of Wands. And that is about preparing for something, right? So it's about allowing yourself to get excited about the things that you're preparing. You know, it's a spark of creativity that you might be feeling now while you're resting, while you're recovering, while you're assimilating. Now it's like, actually there's some things coming to the surface here. I've created space with what I've worked out, and now something's coming up. And we have underneath there the Strength card and the Seven of Pentacles. Now I feel like the Seven of Pentacles is another card of the environment, which fits very neatly with you. But because it is the Seven of Pentacles, I feel like it's actually the strength is returning to you such that you feel able to start at least considering the changes that you want to make to other things, rather than just accepting things for how they are. Like there's a great sense here that you're not prepared to accept mediocrity in any part of your life. Remember that word mediocre sort of came up, and it sort of fits, but it sort of doesn't. It's like, this isn't quite what I thought it would be. Or I've just noticed that this isn't what I think it is, and I'd like to change it. How do I go about that? You know, the Page of Wands for me is a great help in terms of what it's doing for you, and allowing you to think about how you might change things, how you might do things differently, and start to put those plans into motion. Tell me about the Seven of Pentacles, please. Thank you. We have the King of Wands. And we have the Sun. There's the Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck, very action-oriented at the moment. I don't think that you are quite ready to make those moves, because if you were, we would see the King or the Queen in the main card position, but at the moment they're just kind of supplementary energies. So it's like, I'm planning on what I'm going to do. This could be all sorts of things. You could be planning to travel. You could be planning to change up what it is that you do for work, maybe freshen up what you do for work, right? Maybe it's just been plodding on for a bit and you kind of realise that you've fallen out of love with what you were doing, particularly if you're doing something that is, you know, relatively creative. And now you're starting to see ways that you can streamline and refine and make it better. But this Sun card here does speak to the need to bring joy into your life at every point that it is available for you to do so. You know, obviously, it's going to be a bit difficult to bring joy into your life if you're scrubbing your own toilet, if that's the thing that's going on here. Unless you really like having a, you know, sparkling clean toilet, in which case there is an opportunity to find that joy in there somewhere, you know. It feels like a bigger, well, the Sun is huge, like it's really, really huge. It's a bigger sense of, on the balance of everything, there being more joy than there being everything else. And that requires active engagement from you. It requires conscious engagement from you, actually. You know, in the cards before that Eight of Wands coming towards the Queen of Cups, it'd feel rather like that situation kind of happened at you. Here, it's very proactive thinking about how you can change what it is that you want to do. You know, got that Queen of Wands there. And there's a confidence and a visibility with the Queen of Wands that you don't really see with the other queens. It is not so overtly stated, although one would assume that it exists there, you know. But it's very much about taking action. What are the steps that I can do to improve everything for me and make my entire life a little less Seven of Pentacles and a little more the Sun? Yeah? And I feel like whatever you've just gone through, whatever you've just processed, whatever difficulty you have had, particularly in your environment, I do think that it was a necessary thing that kind of sparked off this conversation in your head. Give yourself a little bit of time to continue with the resting, which I think that you are doing anyway. You're not trying to fly straight into something, you're just thinking about it at this point. But it seems like movement is definitely ready to happen. Now, when we've got what's coming towards you in June, rather interestingly, we have this King of Pentacles. Now, I'm not really surprised to see that there. That's your king. It talks about having a plan for me. The King of Pentacles knows the value of hard work, as you do, also all earth signs do, really. But on top of that, he talks about having a plan. Now, as mutable earth, you tend to move around a little bit more. You're a little bit more fluid than the other two earth signs, although we do have Capricorn indicated here. Taurus and Capricorn really do like to have plans for things, and that can be a 10-year plan, a 5-year plan. But it doesn't have to be a nice round number. Right? It can be simply a plan of, this is where I want to go and this is how I'm going to get there. The Judgment card speaks to big decision making. And I think that what started off as the way that we see it in your current energy, these kind of small incremental steps that you're thinking about taking to improve something that isn't quite right. Here in June, we have a much bigger contemplation of changes that you could make. The planned strategy, how we move forwards. The King of Pentacles likes to do things in a specific order, right? A lot of attention paid to the groundwork, very earth sign thing, because this is what's going to hold the rest of everything up. With the Judgment card underneath, I feel like whatever you're thinking about now, it's starting to expand, and it's going to very subtly change into something else, which could be really quite important moving forwards. And that's Judgment card. Thank you. We've got the Ten of Wands. That's interesting. We've got the Ten of Wands and we've got the Page of Cups. And so, just as I was saying there, what had happened to you has been the trigger to get you thinking like this. That Ten of Wands appearing again there feels to me like how you can build some... Oh, Virgo, go and eat something. Honestly, since I connected with your energy, my stomach's been gurgling and I'm feeling this cavernous, empty feel in here. Eat some food. Anyway... It's about how we avoid the Ten of Wands in future, right? So you've understood something about you, you've understood something about your environment, and now you're thinking about how can I make bigger moves to make sure that in future this Ten of Wands actually doesn't have an opportunity to hit me, not in the same way that it has. There's a certain kind of back to the drawing board kind of feel about this, but it's happening very holistically. It's not like you're sitting down and going, I need to institute major changes into my life so that I don't get this stressed anymore. More it's like, how could I have completely avoided this situation, right? There's a little bit of looking backwards, but there's a little bit of looking forwards as well. And I like this for you because it's quite detail oriented, but it feels to me like it's something that could make you feel quite a bit more powerful and a bit more able to manifest for yourself if you are kind of building some redundancy in here and there. If it's because you've been working too hard, then cutting down on the amount of work that you're doing. If it's that you're working exactly as hard as you need to, then it's about carving out some space for you in the future. But it could literally be details like, well, I have an issue with my house and I'm going to fix it now while it's small, because 6 months time it might be considerably bigger, and it's a pain in the arse and it's a bit of effort now, but it's a whole stitch in time saves 9 thing, right? Tell me about this Devil. Thank you. We've got the Ten of Cups and we've got the King of Pentacles. Interestingly, I feel like the Devil is actually kind of being your friend here. Right? Obviously, it represents Capricorn, and we've got that Capricorn kind of plan going on here, right? Cardinal Earth pointing the way. And the Devil is very much concerned with things of the material, much as the King of Pentacles is, and he's appeared here twice for you. It's almost like the spectre of the Devil is the thing that is spurring you into action. The thought of being trapped and stuck in some sort of situation, again, having to relive exactly what you've just endured in the recent past, again, is enough to get you moving forward. So this Ten of Pentacles, no it's not, it's a Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups, speaking to there being some sort of benefit for more than just you in what it is that you're planning to do here. And the King of Pentacles, speaking to that responsibility that you feel for the family. I mean, the way that the King of Pentacles shows his love and affection is by showing up for his family and providing. You know, he's taking care of things, putting things in place, planning things to make sure that ultimately everybody is in an abundant place, you know. I think this is really interesting because the decisions that you make are actually going to be much, much bigger than initially you had considered, in so much as you're not setting out to make big life-changing decisions, but where I think that you're going to end up by the end of June is in a position where you are making big life-changing decisions, because this devil staring at me, oh, it's got such a funny face. Look at him there, like that. This devil feels like he's sitting to the side of you and looking at you very, very intently, and you can feel it, and you're like, I don't really want this devil around. I don't really want this restricted, trapped feeling that I've got. And so I'm going to start changing things around. I'm going to take this energy that I'm getting, because it's not quite here yet, but it's increasingly returning, and I'm going to cut the devil off at the pass. You know, that's the sort of energy that I'm feeling here, which is really, really interesting. Obviously, it's going to manifest differently for each of you. My God. But that Wheel of Fortune does, again, a stitch in time saves 9. That's what I'm here. That's what I'm feeling here. Got the Queen of Swords sitting behind that. You know, so, like, really giving some thought to, objectively, to what you can do to fix things, what you can do to preempt things. Or it's all about the preemption here. And the card that's sitting behind that is the Magician. There we are, again. You've got everything that you need to make the changes that you need to, and you've got the capacity to make things much, much better, not just for you, but for the people within your environment too. And so June is all about not just stepping up, because that, I do think that's a King of Pentacles thing, is really stepping up. But thinking very practically about what you can change. A stitch in time saves 9. That's huge. It's very cool. Right, so I'm going to leave it there, Virgo. I really hope that this was helpful. If you'd like to come over to Vimeo, you're very, very welcome. The link is down in the description box. Or if you'd like to come over to Patreon, that is also a thing. The link is also in the description box. But if not to worry at all. June feels to me very much better for you than May was, I think, and possibly even April, if you're going back that far. There are foundations being laid here for something much, much bigger. And I think by the end of June, you'll have an idea of what that is, where you might not now. So stick with it. You know, keep the momentum going. We'll keep the momentum building, because it'll be worth it. No question, it will be worth it. Right. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.